Welcome to Women Deliver Live. Here's our moment to meet some of the fascinating activists and advocates and leaders from around the world, meeting here in Vancouver for Women Deliver 2019. I'm Lyce Doucet. I'm Canadian, but I'm the Chief International Correspondent of the BBC. And I'm very honored to do this Women Deliver Live with Bersabeh Mekasha, young leader from Ethiopia. Salam, welcome. And also Arash Borbar, who is from Australia via Iran. Khoshamadid. It's great to see both of you. These two young leaders are part of some 700 Women Deliver youth leaders who are gathering here in Vancouver for this very special conference. Let me start with you, Bersabeh. How did you get from Ethiopia to Vancouver? What's your journey to become a Women Deliver leader?
Currently, I'm a doctor, a general practitioner stationed in a rural town in Ethiopia called Doucet. And I work as a general practitioner at a primary hospital there. But when I was a medical student, I was part of an organization named Ethiopian Medical Students Association. And within that organization, I've been volunteering and working on different sexual and reproductive health and right projects. One of them being Sexual Health Education for Better Awareness, Shiva, Project Shiva. And we've been doing that project with our partners in Denmark called IMCC, International Medical Corporation Committee. And so I have been working on that project, and through that I became a Women Deliver Young Leader 2018.
I'm sure you're going to bring a lot of very interesting experiences and ideas here to the many other delegates. And Arash, what about you? How did you end up here in Vancouver?
I mean, my background is civil engineering, but I can say the main core reason for me to be part of this cohort is that it started from my mom.
As it always should start.
Yes, this is I think where you get your strength
Yes.
and your reason and passion sometimes. And my mom is the one that was really strong and really broke all the barriers to be a strong person regardless of her gender. And as a former refugee, she raised me and my younger brother in the best shape, and that gave me a really positive reason to be a champion for change for gender equality.
And Bersabeh is going to talk, I think, about with her experience as a doctor in sexual and reproductive health of women, health care. What are the big ideas for you at this Women Deliver?
I think the big ideas, firstly, would be the hope. This is one of the, I think I can say, the global platform where everybody fights for gender equality. And the hope that is given to me is that, we can see, especially at this time where we have the biggest number of young leaders in the world ever, that the next generation and this generation are the one that actually can, achieve all of the goals that we are looking for.
It's interesting the language you use, Bersabeh. Do you sense now, it used to be that people would say, what can we do for you, you young generation? Let us, the older generation, we'll do it for you, and you'll say, thank you very much. Do you feel now that the space is growing for your own voices to be heard?
Yes, and more so with the Women Deliver Conference 2019, with more than 1,400 young leaders are included in the platform, and their voices are actually heard. And nobody's asking them, what can we do for you? But what do you want to do in your generation? And what do you want to improve with regards to pretty much anything? So,
and are you finding that the delegates you've been meeting, we can talk about the young leaders, but they come from very different countries, cultures, histories. There'll be a lot of different ideas even in that one generation.
Yes, and that's really great because it's such a space to interact, to communicate, and to come up with better solutions for problems that we're facing continentally and internationally in general. So there's a wide variety of people with wide variety of opinions, but with respected opinions in this conference. So it's such a great platform for all of us to come together and share our ideas, which could be completely different from one another at some point, but it's an interesting perspective, and when all of that is put together, then it brings about a great
learning from each other, and we'll learn from you. Arash, there's already been an event with the young leaders. I saw on social media all the cheering, and I thought, wow, what a great energy. But the title was very serious, Speaking Truth to Power. And as you know, both of you nodding, that's often that has to happen in our societies. What did you take from that session?
I think one interesting thing is that, from going beyond their slogans and the symbolic way of, engaging young people in the high-level policy making and also in self-representation. I think young people know better, what's good for them, And instead of saying that, we work for you, we do the job for you, now it's more into the engagement, in a meaningful engagement of getting the help from young people to do the job, because I think they're really the expert in their own lives and also know what works better for them. And speaking truth to power means that really going beyond the boundaries of engaging with the people, not that are always on our side, but actually talking to the people who are against us sometimes, and trying to bring the change and speaking about lived experience to the people that are bringing policies that impacts our life.
Very important at a time where people talk a lot about the political polarization. Bersabeh, what did you take from that session on speaking truth to power?
Speaking truth to power in general, it's very difficult to be working against oppositions. And so as young leaders, having different attitudes, having different values, it might be difficult to stay true to who we are and trying to confirm in the society that we live in. But within that session, we are encouraged to stay true to ourselves, no matter what the opposition, no matter what the counterparts are saying. So staying true to who we really are and moving forward.
And of course, you come from Ethiopia. There's a lot of excitement now. You have a new prime minister. There's your first female president, first female head of the Supreme Court. Again, you're smiling.
Yes.
Is this just symbolic, or do you sense that your culture is changing? I don't need to tell you there's a deep-seated discrimination against women in your society.
True. Yes, yeah. I could tell you that for most of the people, and including myself, who've been living in the city, this is a great thing. And we've been looking at it as an inspiration. But as a person who just got relocated from the city, and now I live in the rural community, and I go there, and I was able to observe that there is a lot of work that needs to be done. It's deeply rooted. It's deeply ingrained in who we are in general, our societal norms, culture. So there's a lot that needs to be done. So the fact that we have half of our parliament women, and the fact
you
that
have like Canada, you have a gender balanced cabinet.
That is true, but that has not much effect when you go to the rural areas and the communities in the house of everybody that's living in the rural side. But for the city, for most of us, I could tell you that it's been such an inspiration, and we've all felt motivated, and that we could actually go forward and our voices could be heard, and that we're actually equal.
So does it actually, it may take a generation for the changes to spread from perhaps the more urban educated population out to the rural areas where most of the population live?
Definitely. And it's definitely going to take a lot of years, because there's a greater opposition, even trying to have a conversation about gender equality. And so in this communities is very hard. And I have been observing that firsthand when I try to have a conversation about it. And in general, the society from around the rural areas have a strong front that things are supposed to be going the way they've been going. And that's accepted a norm, a culture, and a natural thing for that environment. So there's a lot that needs to be done.
You're listening as someone who understands about the pace of change. It takes time in certain cultures. That some of them are more stubborn than others in terms of moving forward for gender equality.
I think this has been the way it is for a long time, and nowadays we're really talking about it a lot. But I think having young people now really taking the lead, not again in a symbolic way, but really hearing about what happened in the pre-conference. Young people are politicians, they're running campaigns, they're running for the office, they're really bringing the change. That gives you a lot of positive hopes. And I think young people would be the only one to bring gender equality to reality, especially if we want to tie it to the Sustainable Development Goals, Goal 5. I think they are the generation that can really bring it into reality and let us see that real gender equality and talk the talk and walk the walk.
Yes, because we often focus on women as if it's a women's issue, but in fact, the men have to change a lot too in sort of their sense of self. And wow, we're listening to some of this fantastic music. You'll hear more of it as women deliver, gathers pace. You can see this is just the opening now. Everything is just getting ready. But go ahead. men and women have to change if there is to
Exactly,
if these
that
goals
is
are
very
to be
true. I
achieved.
mean, we were just recently talking about this. I think it's heading up. It starts with us.
Yes.
And spread
Yeah.
being the
Yes, each of us.
this is a challenge that everyone faces. This is not only women and girls problem,
course.
and all of us have to agree that we have a role to play.
So what are you going to do with your power?
I think I'm gonna use my power to really raise the voice and talk about the challenges, but also some of the success and really great stories of my fellow women deliver leaders, and also to use my power to talk about some of the inequalities and condemn those, and really to support women. And as a man, to really use my power to talk about the positivity that working with women brings. And we heard from the CEO of the Women Deliver that having a gender equality world that will really help us to have a wealthier, healthier, more productive and more peaceful world that we can all live in together.
Very good. And how will you use your power, Bersabeh?
I'll use my power to fight for injustice, and I'll keep on pushing forward no matter the struggle, and I will keep on advocating for the rights of girls and women, and I'll keep on fighting for ending gender inequality.
That's a tall order. Both of you have set yourself up a significant challenge to perhaps working with other delegates here and working with people from around the world. We can all make progress together. But of course, as you said, we'll all start with you.
Yes.
Bersabeh Mekasha, also Arash Borbar, thank you very much for joining us here. This has been Face to Face on Women Deliver Live as the preparations continue for another exciting Women Deliver conference, this time here in Vancouver. So do follow us.